Hi folks, welcome to Wednesday's Coffee with John, and we're on again to look at the Antichrist. Let me just read the verse that we're going to look at. Is 2 John verse 7. I've got it up here in my Bible. I say this because many deceivers who do not acknowledge Jesus Christ as coming in the flesh have gone out into the world. Any such person is the deceiver and the Antichrist. So, false teaching, how do we deal with it? There's an interesting idea, I think it's Jackman who points this out, that in the early church they didn't spend a lot of time going into the details about false teaching. What they rather did was, by proclaiming the truth, they exposed the false teaching. And I guess that's because false teaching is deceitful. It sounds good. But I think that I'm trying to think how I can put it in terms of the context of my own congregation. So I'm teaching the word, and to be honest, I don't know people's hearts. I don't know where people are at. And people can deceive quite easily. And sadly, in my two previous churches, I've experienced people who said all the right things and seemed to do all the right things and seemed to be zealous for the Lord, but they were deceitful. Now, my experience is that over time, as the word is proclaimed and the Spirit is at work, that does get exposed. And I think that's what John is saying here, actually. I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying. That these deceivers, we recognize them. Well, here he gives two characteristics. First is that they deny Jesus as coming in the flesh. Now, there's a particular heresy reckoned here from a man called Cerinthus, who would say Jesus did come in the flesh, but then he stopped being in the flesh because God couldn't be crucified. And John wants us to know that Jesus is still both God and man. The Word became flesh, and it's still flesh. And he's saying those who deny that are Antichrist. And I would say that people who deny the basic teachings about Jesus are what we call Antichrist. And then he says they've gone out into the world. Now, I think that probably is they've gone out as missionaries. They're, in a sense, they are false teachers doing a great deal of harm in the world, deceiving, as Jesus said in Mark 13, deceiving, if it were possible, even the elect. It may be that he's saying that they've gone into the world in the sense, or they've gone into the secular world pretending to be Christians and causing a great deal of harm to Christians. So, Antichristos, the Antichrist, is someone who denies who Christ is and who denies the teaching of Christ, even if they profess that they are Christians. I got into trouble once for saying about Scott McKenna in Edinburgh, Church of Scotland minister, that he was Antichrist. Now, he denied the divinity of the Son of God. He denied the atonement of the cross and called it a horrible thing. So I have every justification, but people were saying, well, it's not very Christian of you to say he's not very Christian. Well, look, you're saying I'm not very Christian because I pointed out what John points out, that when you teach heresy about Jesus Christ, you're not a Christian. You are Antichristos. So I'm afraid that in the church today, there's so much of that Antichristos around. And those of us who are believers, whatever denomination we are in, whatever background we may have, whatever secondary issues we may disagree about, we must stick together on this, upholding the Christ of the Bible. We don't want to be Antichristos. We are pro-Christos. So, God bless you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.